This is an effort to re-upload a video that I posted a day and a half ago that suddenly was taken down for being apparently harmful or violent content. You be the judge for me. What's going on, card people? Now, on this channel, we talk a lot about different tools and techniques and different things you can do to try and sell lots of cards. Today, I want to talk about the cheapest, most easy to access suite of tools for selling cards on TCGplayer that's available out there. So we're going to talk about what all you get in the TCGplayer Pro Seller account. If you're new here, thanks for dropping in. My name's Chase. I've been selling trading cards online for the last few years, mostly focusing on selling the less expensive cards in higher volume. I run a business called TCG Bulk Kings. I believe that every card has value, and I like to try and help people try and figure out how best they can get that value out of their cards. Cat decided that was a really good time to need my attention. I was talking with some of the people from TCGplayer at the Gamma Expo a couple months ago, and they said, you know, you talk about some of these tools that we offer, but you haven't talked about the Pro Seller account as a whole. And I said, yeah, that's great. That is a good call out on my content. I'll have to fix that. And they said, okay, we'd like to help you. So they've sponsored this video for me and said, hey, if you could just talk about the TCGplayer Pro account and why you're using that suite of tools, we'll be super happy. I said, okay, cool. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about with regard to this is that TCGplayer Pro is super accessible. It's not something like direct where you have to qualify for it or anything like that. You just have to build up your account to being a level 4 seller account. This would be a really good reason to try and get to level 4 seller status as quickly as you can. And that's really easy to do. It's like complete 51 sales and don't screw them up. Right? Have good feedback. And that's it. Once you get to that, you just go and you fill out a form and they email you back and get you all set up. And then you have access to all this stuff. So what does it get you? There are 4 things that I use. There's a couple extra beyond that I don't really use because I don't run a brick and mortar store. The first thing it gets you access to is the MassPrice repricing tool. So yeah, the MassPricer tool is really great. So what it does is you can go into it, set certain rules, set a schedule, and it'll automatically reprice all your cards based on those rules every day or however often you set the schedule. As we all know, prices go up and down and up and down. And if you're stuck at the price that you priced it at 6 months ago, you're probably not going to be showing up early in the page and capturing the eyeballs that are going and looking at that card. It would be worth it just on its own if this was all that you got with the Pro Seller account. But it's not. You also get access to the QuickList software. That's where you take your cards and you scan them with a web camera, and it will live create a list, identify it, and create a list while you're scanning them. A lot of other sellers use QuickList more than I do. I know Rob at RNG Games and Mason at CNA Games both use QuickList for when a customer brings in a potential sale to the shop so that they can quickly get a price of what those cards are worth so they can make offers on it. I don't really do that. I don't have a shop. I'm not pricing things on the fly like that. I'm not looking to use it for that purpose, but for that purpose it would be great. So here's the but wait, there's more moment. On top of that, you have access to the new Scan and Identify software. Get images of your cards with the scanner, and then you drag and drop the images into the program, and it identifies the cards from that. Double check it to make sure it's all right. You can change the condition and all that, and then you can push it right into your inventory, which makes listing cards a lot more efficient than entering them in on spreadsheets and all that. Now, if you're good at spreadsheets, you can get pretty good at that method, which I have to sell Flesh and Blood cards. Mostly Flesh and Blood and Digimon is what I'm using the spreadsheet method for. Yeah, Scan and Identify. It helps out a lot. It reduces the mental load, for one, increases the accuracy, and it takes a little bit less time than doing the spreadsheets. The last thing I want to talk about as a benefit from the Pro Seller tools is the ability to create your own website. If you don't have your own website as part of your business, this can be something that can be useful for you. It lets you take your TCG Player inventory and then create a TCG Player Pro Seller website that you can list all of your TCG Player synced over to, and people can buy it directly from there instead of from the TCG Player marketplace itself. Now, this works really well if in two use cases, from what I can tell. One, if you have a really big social media presence or are good at marketing and you can funnel people to that site to buy specifically from you, it works great. Or alternatively, if you are running a brick and mortar store and you're getting a lot of customers in the store that have loyalty to the store, they can buy from the website there. And the great thing about people buying through the website is that you're not paying any commission fees through the website. You do pay a pro seller fee if you have to ship it, and then the processing fee, but you're not paying the standard TCG Player commission at all. And then if they're picking it up directly from you and you're not having it shipped to them, then you're not even paying the pro seller fee. So I did have a few people who would buy cards through there and then come pick them up from me, who were local to me, before I moved to Arizona. And then I still occasionally get people ordering through the website, and I ship it to them now, and I get the reduced fees for that. There are, like I said, there are a couple of tools that I don't use that you also get access to in this. The big one is the kiosk feature. Again, I don't run a brick and mortar store, so I have no need to have a kiosk set up in the corner of my garage for people to go buy cards from or search my inventory. And then finally, you have the sales channels feature, which does allow you to manage those separately. You can have your local store or your website guaranteed to have certain amount in stock, and then the rest of your stock can be on the TCG Player marketplace. The other great thing about the pro sellers tools is that you don't have to pay anything up front. There's not a subscription. There's not any type of upfront investment. The cost on that is simply a change in your fee structure. So if you look at this picture here, this is the breakdown from TCG Player of the fees for all the different types of accounts you can have and how they stack up. The comparison between just being a regular level 4 marketplace seller and being a regular level 4 marketplace seller with a pro account is this. So a regular marketplace seller has a 10.25% fee on top of the processing fee. Pro seller adds this extra 2.5% of fee per transaction, but they also get a 1% reduction in the regular TCG Player commission. So it's really only an increase of 1.5% on the sale, the final sale price. If you're doing like me and a lot of other businesses that are scaling up, the increase in your fees on your low-end cards that you're selling at high volume comes out to, if you do the math, like 2 cents extra per order, 3 cents extra per order. That's the only cost that's involved in access to these tools. It's the only cost. The benefit that you get for that cost is ridiculous. The trade-off is minuscule. The cost is minuscule compared to the benefits. The costs entirely scale with how successful you are at using the tools. I don't know. I hope I've articulated that pretty well. Anybody who's recently made it to level 4 seller from level 3 can tell you that just being able to use the spreadsheets on the pricing tab is a game changer. This is several more game changers that are just sitting right there waiting. If that interests you, there's a link below. You can get to the pro seller form. Go check it out. There's no drawback. If you don't like it, just cancel out of it. It's not that big a deal. You just send them an email and they'll take it off. The risk is really low. Try it out. That's pretty much all I had for this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try and answer as best I can. Check out the other videos that I have in this playlist so you can see how to use each of the individual tools, or at least how I'm using each of the individual tools. Let me know how it works for you.